Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. 10 tips for cleaning your car better in the winter. Let's go. Number 1, undercarriage cleaning. Now, if you watch my video on undercarriage cleaning, I gave you a hack where you can take a Karcher pressure washer, assuming you've got a Karcher. If you haven't, you're going to need to get one of these for your machine. Don't ask me if they do them. And what you do is you flip the Karcher patio washer upside down, and it squirts with this little spinning jet the water upwards with a fair bit of pressure. Okay, you can also feed in a pre-wash, or if you can't feed it in, you don't have a feed on your pressure washer, just get underneath the car and just spray some pre-wash under there, or jack it up, whatever. Now, I suggested once a year in spring after a long winter that you should undercarriage clean your car, but if you're really into maintaining your car well, then cleaning underneath and getting all those salts that stick and, you know, get trapped on the suspension and in the arches and, you know, the channel where the exhaust runs, it all gets splattered in this kind of corrosive, salty winter road film. So keeping on top of it would be a great idea. And you can do it while perhaps you're waiting for your pre-wash to soak out during that pre-wash phase. So under the car. Really cool. That is the Karcher pressure washer patio cleaner upside down hack. Number 2 tip, guys, this is a very obvious one. Pre-wash, 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 pre-wash. One of the great advantages of freezing cold winters is that you can put your pre-wash in and you do not have to worry about hot temperatures of sun, high panel temperatures drying your detergents out quickly. So allowing pre-washes to soak on the car now for a bit longer and do their job, do more of the donkey work for you, is very important. Now, you know, if you watch Forensics Detailing this channel, I've been talking about these 2 products. Autofoam pre-wash from Bilt Hamber, which is just a very powerful pre-wash, one of the most powerful ones on the market and very well priced at 17 quid for 5 litres. And Surfex HD, one of the most powerful, safe, non-caustic detergent APC, all-purpose cleaner, degreasers, also £17 for 5 litres, and both of them are concentrates, okay, so they're great value. All I would say in the winter, if you've got tons of salty road film on the lower panels of your car, you could take your Surfex HD and a pump sprayer at around 20 to 1, you know, 4 to 5% PIR, perhaps even a bit higher, around 2%, somewhere between 2% to 4% PIR, and just spray some of that Surfex on the lower dirt panels. Then go straight on with your pre-wash, so then put your snow foam Bilt Hamber on top between 2% and 4% PIR, straight on top of the Surfex, and then leave that there for 10 minutes to fully soak in. Okay, or doesn't have to be 10 minutes, but in winter, like I say, you could leave it there and crack on and go and clean your wheels while it's soaking. I prefer to put on snow foam onto a dry car. If you pre-wash the car first, the argument is you can blast some of the top layer of that road film off so that your pre-wash is more effective. But I find if you pre-wash with water first, you put a film of water on your car, and that film of water is going to knock down the concentration of your product probably by about half when you think of the panel impact ratio and the small amounts that go on there. And it's also going to make it looser and runnier and run off the car quicker. So I like pre-washing onto a dry car. So Surfex on first with a pump spray at 2 to 4%, and then auto wash on at 2 to 4%. Leave it to dwell, blast it off. That will, you know, auto foam alone at 2 to 4% with 10 minutes will take off 95% of road film, but with Surfex on underneath on the lower panels as well, you're going to have a very, very clean car when you go into contact wash, and that's going to make a big difference with less dirt there to rub around and help you, you know, keep the scratches off of your paintwork. So that's tip number 2. Number 3, in the freezing cold winter when the temperatures are really low and the water's cold and everything like that, the last thing I want to be doing is standing around for half an hour putting a paste wax on my car, waiting for it to dry, you know, and cure, and then buffing it, when I can put protection on my car in about 20 seconds. So tip 3, move away from paste waxes and sealants that you've got to rub and buff, or even spray and shine, spray and buff ones, and go to spray and rinse sealants. And I have 3 of them here, guys. The first one is the cheap one, Said very respectfully, Turtle Wax Dry and Shine that I paid £3.50 for, but it's normally about £6 or £7. And it's turbocharged. Spray on, make sure you give it a damn good rinse and then dry your car. This is a real, for a high value product, you've already heard me talk about that, but it's turbocharged and very strong. The next spray and rinse, which actually pipped the Turtle Wax into first place in my spray and rinse best of video comparison, is the Gyeon Wet Coat, because I think this product has some self-cleaning attributes, and it even gives itself a really high 5.5 stars. In fact, yeah, 5.5 stars for self-cleaning, 1 star for durability. So they're not all 5.5 stars, so you can trust the stars. But this seems to help keep the panel cleaner for longer. Not radically different, it's all very subtle, but I also like the way it makes the paintwork feel once you've toweled off the car, spray on, rinse off, towel off the car, come back in an hour's time and feel your paintwork lovely and smooth. Really good product, one of my favourite products, Gyeon Wet Coat, so underrated. And for the mega lazy that doesn't want to go around the car doing this with the old finger workout, you can put Auto Glim Polar Seal in your snow foam lance. So after you've done all your washing, you put some of this in your snow foam lance, hurl this over the panels, avoid the front windscreen according to Auto Glim, and then just pressure wash it off immediately, get it all off, and then dry the car down. Don't let it dwell, but in the winter it's great, this stuff. Don't over concentrate it as well, because obviously, because this is designed to work in a snow foam lance where you're mixing it through with tons of water for your pressure washer, the concentration of this product is extreme. So don't mess around and go beyond the recommended concentrations, especially in summer, or you might have product residue issues all over your car, stuff like that. So just use it wisely, but honestly, it's not difficult to use and it's lovely in the winter. You feel like you're cheating when you just quickly, you've literally protected the side of your car in one movement of your arm, and there's no buffing or anything like that, so they're lovely. That's a big tip. Protect your car with spray and rinse products in the cold winter months. Tip number 4, and this came from you guys, all that mud that gets into your carpets in winter, go and get some rubber mats for your car. There's some really good companies out there. I'm not going to advertise them, but you gave me the name of a good company that made great rubber mats for my Golf. They're about 60 quid for a set, including the boot. So I've got a big square rubber thing with a lip around the edge, so it's almost like a big tray that if you're going, you know, walking the dogs or going for a muddy hike or doing anything with the family where there's mud involved, you know, after these mud mats are all dirty, you can literally just take them out of the car, blast them down with a pressure washer by the side of the car when you're washing the car, and then use your air dryer when you're drying the car and sling them back in. And you know, they're just brilliant. It's self-explanatory. Rubber mats, big tip, and nice and affordable, and they will save your upholstery underneath. Yeah, really important. Tip number 5, if you haven't already done so, guys, go and get a little Tupperware box from the kitchen, steal it from your missus, and mix down some APC at about, you know, 1 to 2% PIR, you know, so 1 to 20 or something like that, in a little pump sprayer. Get yourself a little liquid air freshener in a little pump sprayer, put that in there, and get a couple of microfiber towels, put that in there, close your Tupperware box, put it in the dashboard. The reason I do this rather than just sticking the products in the dashboard is sometimes they can leak and stuff like that and dribble. So always put them in the Tupperware. If you're a leak, go and get, like on Amazon or eBay, look for a little black Tupperware box which fits into your dashboard so you don't look like, you know, with a white Tupperware box, it looks like your mum's made you a packed lunch. That's just a bit, that's not cool. So get a cool box if you're cool. Then in winter again, when you get mud, sometimes you get in the door and you catch the door card with your foot and put a mud streak on it, or you've got something, any sort of dirt in the car, you can just grab that in the box and wipe it and sort it there and then, rather than just leaving all this mud in the car over the whole of winter and your car gets progressively dirty. So it just gives you the ability to keep on top of it. You might also, as well as APC, just have a little glass cleaner, a third one in there as well, so you can clean the inside of your glass, which can get all foggy in winter. Ironically, when you clean the inside of your glass, especially your front windscreen, it's more prone to getting foggy because you remove the grease and then the condensation can actually stick to it. But that's another subject. So tip number 5, have your little detailing emergency kit in the glove box. Next up, guys, this is a product tip. I talked about this tool on the channel, the Flex VC6. What is it? Well, some of you have already figured out. It's a vacuum cleaner or blower, but it's a cordless one. And just why this is a good little tip, guys, is when I bring my car, I keep my car very clean. When I bring it into the garage after a drive, if I've got some mud in there, and I don't have the rubber mats in this car, because it's not that sort of car, I have them in the Gulf. But anyway, what I'll do is I'll just grab this hoover and I'll keep it right by the side of the garage. I don't have to sit there uncoiling it and plugging it in and wheeling it around. I just grab it, literally go like that, turn it on with the switch, and I'm away. And I'm vacuuming. And all that allows me to do is never let the mud build up in the driver's footwell. So it's always relatively clean when I get in there. Yes, I'm not that, I'm not that regimental that I do it every time, but it bugs me. When I keep on top of my car, I like to keep it clean all the time. So it just makes it easier to do it. And I think this is quite a clever little tool. It's not going to replace the main vacuum cleaner. It doesn't have the power, and the battery is going to run out quite quickly because you're working it hard. But I do 99% of my hoovering, or vacuuming, as the uncivilized world says, with the tiny little Flex Portable. Very, very convenient. Number 7, guys, top up your protection. So once a year we do a full decon and polish, and I typically do that in spring, on the car when the weather's nice and you can enjoy it a bit more. When autumn kicks in and you got, then November, December, January, February, the worst winter months are there. Before then, what I'd suggest is you clean your car down, just wipe over gently your panels with, some sort of mild water-based panel wipe, and just top up your protection by putting a heavy-duty protection on that is going to last 3 to 4 months, and most decent sealants, waxes and things like that should last 3 to 4 months. And when you do that, whatever the product is you use, whether it's Fuso Coat, Colonite 915, Bilt Hamber double speed wax, Maguire's ultimate liquid wax, whatever you use, I would suggest you also put some of your protection products in the door shuts and places like that, because they're also going to benefit from that protection. And the runoff areas in the boot, give the boot, lift the boot lid up and clean all around those runoff areas. Put a bit of protection in there as well, and dress all your rubbers in preparation for the winter. So top up, make sure you've got fresh protection. Then hopefully you'll get that zing that we talk about, the beloved zing, that when you do get all that film on your car, fresh protection, even simple fresh protection, it seems to maybe zip the dirt off a little bit easier. So that's tip number 7. There we go. Tip number 8, guys, and this is the known tip. You'll have heard this, I don't need to prattle on too much. A lot of guys will take their cars and garage them up over winter because they don't want all of that dirt and film getting onto the underside of their car and constantly cleaning it in all the mud. So wet months aren't good for cars, are they? It's a great tip. A lot of people might have a garage, a lock-up or a garage that they own that they can store the car in and have a second car. But I know a lot of people, in fact, some of my friends pay, to store their car, and it's not as expensive as you'd think, depends on the facility and where you're going. So, but you could look at a sort of 6-month storage to get you through the winter. So that would be for the person that has a really good car, keeps it on a tip-top condition, and likes the idea of storing it. So something to consider. Let me know if you do that. I've never done it because my cars aren't tip-top or pristine. Well, this one certainly isn't. Tip number 9, guys, health and safety. We never forget health and safety on this one. But seriously, in winter, there is still a risk of your car breaking down, especially with like flat batteries and stuff like that in the real cold winter months, or even getting stuck in your car in snowy conditions. And if you do that when the temperature's mild and low and you're stuck in your car and you've not got the right clothing on, you can be in trouble. So always have a blanket in your car, and this is like a little kit where you put the blanket in a nice little bag, and you can just put it under the rear floor mat on top of the tyre and you don't even see it. Or put a spare fleece in the back of your car in a carrier bag, seal it up, put it on top of that tyre, just in case, so you don't get caught out. Very important. Finally, tip number 10, guys, in the winter, the most common problem, you get up in the morning, you're in a rush, you go down, you want to get in the car and drive it, and you start driving and all the glass is like covered in frost. and like you get the old credit card out and start scraping it, stuff like that. The best thing I would say, or what I tend to do, is I've always got my homebrew panel wipe, which is about 25%, 99% alcohol, IPA, with about 2% Surfex HD or any APC, and 73% water. And just pump that up, spray it all over that glass, and it will melt down the ice, and the alcohol solvent in it helps as well, doesn't it, dissolve the ice. That works for me. You can also get those rattle cans for about £2 or £3 from Sainsbury's, and I put one of those in the Gulf for the missus, because she doesn't understand all these different chemicals. She'll end up, you know, she'll grab some polish or something, start squirting all the polish on the windscreen to defrost it. Alternatively, guys, if you haven't got any of those, then a saucepan or a bucket, you just quickly fill it up with cold tap water. I prefer to just use normal temperature tap water and then just pour that over the car and start the car and run the car up so that it starts warming with the demisters on it. But what you shouldn't ever do, we've probably all done it, haven't we, where you just you do the credit card and you clear like a little circle and you get your head up to the screen, you're driving along, like you can hardly see anything, and then you go to put your side mirrors down when you come to the first junction and they're like stuck. That's dangerous. So it's important to be in a position where you can, you know, what's the word, not demist, but de-ice your glass rapidly. And I do it, as always, the cheap way. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. These were my 10 tips on how you can help yourself make detailing and getting through the winter in your car easier. Please put in the comment any tips you have, and then this, as well as this becoming a video about me, it becomes a video with all you, and all your ideas, and it's usually, your ideas are usually better than mine. So let me know any tips you've got for getting through the winter. Take care, and I'll see you soon.
Holding on to what I knew, but the moment's gone. Where was I?